Chapter 98. Lu Jiwei first looked at Fang Xiaoying's moments, but she did not realize this was a CP fan. Could it be? Fang Xiaoying had been hiding her CP fandom. Lu Jiwei looked at the study. They had not come out yet. Since she was bored, she liked Fang Xiaoying's post and went to chat with her. Lu Jiwei, so you are a CP fan? Fang Xiaoying cherished this friend, replying immediately as long as she had the time. Xiaoying, I just started being a fan these few days. Xiaoying, I saw so many videos of them on the home page, then realized they are really so shippable. Xiaoying, oh, you wouldn't be a solo fan, would you? Do you mind? If you mind, then I will not post any more in the future. She didn't want the relationship to become negative. She only had this one friend. Seeing that last message, Lu Jiwei looked down and smiled. Lu Jiwei, I am a fan of a lot of celebrities, I can accept anything. Lu Jiwei, post it if you like it. It's just shipping a CP, it is best to make yourself happy. As long as you do not disturb others, that is most important. She did not want anybody to end up being so cautious and hiding their own liking because they had to take her into consideration. Everybody was born equal, what right did she have to place herself on a pedestal and be different from others? Everybody had their own likes. As long as it was not illegal or harmful to others, they could do what they wanted. Xiaoying, thank you. Are really so good. Xiaoying, I was afraid you would not like it and would delete me. Lu Jiwei, how could that be? Lu Jiwei, as long as you like teacher saying, we will be best friends. Lu Jiwei, even if you end up not being a fan one day, we will still be friends. Xiaoying, relax, I am an iron fan. We will be best friends. Lu Jiwei happily kept her phone away. She truly is a good fan of my girlfriend. In the study, even though Zhang Xianrui got straight to the point, Sang Wanxi was still calm. She had long since wanted to be honest with Zhang Xianrui. Zhang Xianrui was her manager, and her aunt's friend. No matter what, she would be on Sang Wanxi's side. And it would make things even easier for her and Lu Jiwei if Zhang Xianrui knew about it. It did not matter even if Zhang Xianrui disapproved. Sang Wanxi approved and her aunt approved, that was good enough. It is the kind of relationship that Sister Zhang is thinking about. Sang Wanxi replied. Zhang Xianrui was shocked. She thought her artiste was a celibate person with no desires. So many handsome, rich male artistes had chased after her before, but she had no reaction and only focused on work. So it was not that she had no desire, but that the gender was not right. You are serious? Serious? You are really a lesbian? Really? She is a lesbian too, and you are really living together? Sister Zhang, my aunt knows about this too. After Zhang Xianrui repeatedly confirmed it, she was really speechless. Great, Meng Lianyu. You know your niece is a lesbian and even has a girlfriend, but you did not tell her manager. What kind of secret-keeping machine is the Meng family? How can all of you keep secrets so well? She leaned against the table and brushed her hair away. No wonder these two were so close. If they were not at one person's house, they would be at the other's. But since they were both girls, there were not a lot of people suspecting them. At most they would think these two are best friends, even she thought so too. The kids nowadays. Tisk tisk, they have their own thinking. She looked calmly at the artiste she had guided all these years. Actually, now that Sang Wanxi had gotten to this stage, she no longer needed Zhang Xianrui to say anything. Whether it was work, rest, or even dating, Sang Wansi had her own opinion and did not need someone else to tell her what to do. So she did not say anything. "You are not a kid anymore, you know what you're doing," Zhang Xianrui said. "I just have one request, tell me before you two go public with it." She had to be prepared and pay attention to the netizens. She did not like her artists doing things on their own without telling the company, it was not the right attitude to have in a collaboration. Sang Wansi's expression softened as her lips raised slightly. "Okay, I will." Zhang Xianrui nodded and patted her on the shoulder before walking out. Lu Jiwei had just turned off the stove when the door to the study opened. She looked in that direction, only to see Zhang Xianrui walk out with a calm expression before pouring herself a glass of water and chugging it down as if she was dying of thirst. Sang Wansi followed her out, also with a calm expression. Zhang Xianrui put down the cup and said, "Okay, I am going home first." She had only come up for a drink of water. Who knew that she would be informed of her artiste's relationship in addition? Lu Jiwei politely asked if she would like to stay. "Is Director Zhang not staying for dinner?" Zhang Xianrui waved her hand. "No, I only came up for some water. My husband is still waiting for me at home, I will not be staying." Lu Jiwei nodded in understanding. "Be careful on the road back, Director Zhang." Zhang Xianrui waved at the two of them. The door closed once again. Lu Jiwei turned to serve the soup. "I made soup, come and try it." "Oh right, I was talking to Xiao Chu today and she said you did not eat at all today because you were busy with work. How can your stomach stand it? You have to make up for all the lack of nutrition right now." In this line of work, they had to maintain their figures, but Lu Jiwei hoped that the person beside her would eat if she could and just exercise after. Eating without exercising would just make it even easier to get fat. Sang Wansi wanted to tell Lu Jiwei about what happened in the study, but seeing that Lu Jiwei was so concerned about her eating habits, she could only sit down obediently and eat first. After dinner, the two of them washed the dishes. Lu Jiwei tied up the rubbish and placed it outside the main door. Closing the door, she washed her hands and started wiping them dry before Sang Wansi hugged her. Lu Jiwei slowly wiped her hands dry as she smiled and asked, "What is it, teacher Sang?" Sang Wansi smiled and pressed her lips against Lu Jiwei's, kissing her sweetly for a while before parting. "There is something I need to report to teacher Lu." Lu Jiwei threw the tissue paper into the rubbish bin and hugged Sang Wansi's waist. "What is it?" Sang Wansi didn't beat around the bush either. "Jiwei, Sister Zhang knows we are together." Lu Jiwei blinked twice. Sang Wansi continued honestly, "I was the one who admitted to it, does Jiwei mind?" Lu Jiwei smiled, "Of course not, I was just about to discuss with you about this matter. This time, Wansi and I are in sync." Now she could also tell Wen Yao the truth. She could openly come to look for her girlfriend in the future. "Well done," Lu Jiwei held her girlfriend's face as she praised, "My baby is the smartest. I will tell Wen Yao soon." Sang Wansi's head nodded against Lu Jiwei's hands. Lu Jiwei did not let go, kissing Sang Wansi a few times before saying, "You have worked hard today, go take a hot bath to warm yourself up and rest early." Sang Wansi nodded again, obedient and cute. "Jiwei, help me take my pajamas later," Sang Wansi said. Lu Jiwei found it a bit humorous and odd. She clearly remembered her pajamas. Why would she ask Lu Jiwei to help her take them later? She asked, "Cannot you just bring it in right now?" Sang Wansi's voice was gentle and teasing, "I have some dutiful desires. This way, big sis can bathe with me." Lu Jiwei was curious, dutiful desires. Sang Wansi held her hand and explained, before we were together, Jiwei was my unreasonable desire. After we're together, Jiwei is my duty. I want Jiwei, so this should be a dutiful desire. Lu Jiwei was convinced. She had totally lost to this little friend in front of her. Okay, I will bathe with you, I can give you a massage at the same time. Sang Wansi smiled, okay. Sang Wansi lay on the edge of the bathtub as Lu Jiwei's hands kneaded her shoulders. If she said she would give a massage, she would. Teacher Lu was a woman of her word. Amidst the steam rising from the water, Sang Wansi slowly opened her eyes, looking like a beautiful goddess awakening. She is even our CP fan. Yes, Lu Jiwei continued massaging her shoulders. She said she just started shipping us these few days. No wonder she did not recognize Lu Jiwei that night. If it was Sang Wansi, she probably would have been recognized. Sang Wansi chuckled, then turned to face Lu Jiwei, holding her hand as she rubbed it. Then she has good taste. They were real. She was a good match with Lu Jiwei. A match made in heaven. Lu Jiwei was a little surprised by her sudden movement. I have not finished massaging you yet. As she spoke, slender fingers threaded through the gaps between 5 slightly opened fingers. With a light squeeze, their fingers intertwined. The beautiful face of the person in front was suddenly magnified. Their breaths intermingled. Jiwei is too honest. Sang Wansi's eyes gently, yet passionately, moved over Lu Jiwei's face. I cannot wait anymore. Big sister, I want you. The flames of desire in Lu Jiwei's heart were immediately stoked. She closed the blinds and splashed some water on the marble, wanting to make it warmer, before patting it. Wansi, sit here. Sang Wansi obeyed. Lu Jiwei sat in the bathtub, 2 hands pressing against Sang Wansi's knees as she looked up at her with gentle eyes. I have rested the whole day while you worked, so I will do it, okay? Sang Wansi looked at her and nodded with a smile, okay, whatever big sister says. Snow had started to fall again outside. The snowflakes drifted down the long street, past the skyscrapers and across the tightly shut windows. There was an icy loneliness in the world. But it had nothing to do with them. Their bodies were as warm as the bath water, warmer even, making it so that their tongues and lips were dry. They could not control their desire to get even closer, getting sweet salvation from each other. The water sloshed about with a gentle noise, filling the bathroom with this emotional sound. A kiss, entanglement, 5 fingers that sank into long hair. Everything was their warmth in winter, their intimate love. As long as the other person was around, they would not feel the cold bite of winter. Sang Wansi exhaled sharply. She hugged her lover to her chest as she swallowed back her love and tenderness, her reddened eyes filled with feelings. Lu Jiwei was trying her best to please her. No matter what, Lu Jiwei always hoped Sang Wansi could forever be happy and free of troubles. Her Jiwei loved her and did not hold back. Sang Wansi lowered her head in search of a kiss. Lu Jiwei lifted herself up and pressed her lips against Sang Wansi's. Her rationality was floating on the water, slightly dazed. She had to work harder. She had to complete the agreement with her father as soon as possible so she could fulfill her girlfriend's wish and become a happy, carefree person. Jiwei. She called out her lover's name. Lu Jiwei replied her, I am here. I am here, by your side, forever. I love you, Sang Wansi said. More than I loved you last year. I know. Lu Jiwei's gaze could not bear to leave her for a single second as she smiled, I can see it. In your eyes, in your every action, I can see how you love me. It is sincere and unswerving in this lifetime. After meeting you, I am no longer unhappy. It is so good to be able to meet you. You are my eternal good weather, I will love you forever. Liu Jiwei said blissfully. These sweet words were like added fuel to a fire, the atmosphere burned hotter and hotter. The steam from the hot water enveloped them. Liu Jiwei kissed Sang Wansi, let us continue. She leaned down again. Who did not like a sweet girlfriend who could bear to leave her unsatisfied just by seeing her happy? Liu Jiwei would also be happy. Sang Wansi tilted her head back, exposing her slender neck. This was destined to be a long night that would use up her voice. The weather was nice today. Xiao Chu took the elevator up as always, sending breakfast for their pretty celebrity. But in the end, the person who opened the door was the cooking goddess in her heart, Sister Jiwei. Xiao Chu was confused. Sister Jiwei, why are you here? Liu Jiwei took the food from her hand as she smiled, I am cohabiting with my girlfriend. Xiao Chu, oh, cohabiting ah. Cohabiting with your girlfriend, who is your girlfriend? What the hell, are my ears spoiled me? Sang Wansi was brushing her teeth as she walked out, her face calm as she raised a hand. Xiao Chu felt like she had been shot, like in a video game, and it was even a fatal shot. But this was a shot of love. Her artiste had come out. God, her artiste liked girls. God. Does Sister Zhang know? Does her father know? What should I do? Xiao Chu's expression suddenly crumpled in panic. Liu Jiwei didn't understand. Sang Wansi understood, and after she rinsed her mouth and wiped her face dry, she came out and said, Sister Zhang knows, my aunt knows too. Before we come out to the public, help us keep it a secret. Xiao Chu came back to her senses and blinked, I understand. Since even Zhang Xianrui knew, then she had nothing to worry about. Even if the sky collapsed, the company would hold it up. Sang Wansi sat down. As to why Zhang Xianrui did not tell Xiao Chu, she did not care. Because it was either Zhang Xianrui forgot, or Zhang Xianrui was planning to let Sang Wansi tell Xiao Chu herself. Xiao Chu finally understood why she had to buy an extra portion of food. She thought Sang Wansi's appetite had grown. She sat by the side of the table, looking at Liu Jiwei and Sang Wansi in a gossipy manner. Straight people, homosexual people, and bisexual people were all the same in her eyes. Love was love, so she did not care about it. She was just curious when Liu Jiwei and Sang Wansi had gotten together. Sang Wansi asked her to speak her mind. Xiao Chu decided to ask. After hearing it, Liu Jiwei said calmly, last year. Xiao Chu. Good fellow, then you two are really good at hiding things. Liu Jiwei chuckled and sent a message to Wen Yao, telling her honestly that she had a girlfriend and that her girlfriend was Sang Wansi. After the message was sent out, Liu Jiwei saw the typing status change a few times but got no reply. Wen Yao stayed silent for a while. She should have guessed it long ago, she just lost because she did not dare to involve Sang Wansi, she didn't have enough courage. That was Xin Yi Group's heiress, Meng Langcheng and Sang Zhiqing's precious daughter. Was it someone that normal people like them could imagine things about? But not only did her artiste imagine it, she even had her feelings reciprocated and got together so long ago with Sang Wansi. Wen Yao came out of her shock and silently sent Liu Jiwei an expression pack of a thumbs up. For being able to make Miss Sang fall for you, you really are this. Wen Yao, there's nothing much to say, sister, you are not a kid, you have your own opinions. Besides, bystanders like us should not interfere with relationships. It is all good as long as you two are happy. Wen Yao, just tell the company before you guys make it public. After that, Wen Yao thought about the fact that Sheng Yu is now part of Xing Yi Group. Is this the fabled dowry? Is this how rich people date? She was envious. Liu Jiwei replied with an okay, then smiled and put her phone down. It felt like these 2 days, everybody around them had been given a shock. She did not have work today, but Sang Wanxi had. She couldn't accompany her girlfriend out, however, so she could only entrust her to Xiao Qiu. Xiao Qiu, help me keep an eye on her and make sure she eats. She has to eat no matter how busy it gets, she can continue working after eating. Xiao Qiu snuck a glance at Sang Wanxi. Sang Wanxi was still calmly drinking her porridge. Xiao Qiu flashed an okay sign at Liu Jiwei. Liu Jiwei, yes, and you have to tell me if her head hurts. Xiao Qiu continued to flash her okay. Liu Jiwei smiled and nodded, next time you can come to have dinner at our place. Xiao Qiu's eyes lit up. No wonder Sang Wanxi had told her before that as long as Xiao Qiu worked for her, she would be able to enjoy it. It was so good to be Sang Wanxi's assistant, she liked being Sang Wanxi's assistant, long live Sang Wanxi. Sang Wanxi's work was even more hectic than before. Firstly, because she was more popular now. Secondly, because she wanted to maintain her commercial values so she could obtain even better movie scripts. Gritting her teeth and bearing with it now would mean an easier time in the future. She had it planned out, she would complete the agreement quickly, then rest for a few months and travel around with Liu Jiwei to relax. Liu Jiwei was also busy with work. Now that her girlfriend was truly at the top, she couldn't be a hindrance. And the system was still waiting for her to fix the world line. Aside from that, she didn't forget to care for Fang Xiaoying. Aside from not being as optimistic as her, Fang Xiaoying's way of living was almost a complete mirror of her past. Transparent, painful, nobody to complain to. Luckily she arrived and held her hand tightly, giving her a share of the warmth of the world. Under her guidance, Fang Xiaoying was now learning to find her own happiness and not care about how others might see her. Everybody's in charge of their own life, they were the ones to decide how to live it. So Fang Xiaoying was much happier now, even when shipping her CPS. Sometimes, she would even happily share it with Liu Jiwei over a call. Today was the second day of the new year. Liu Jiwei walked over slowly to the window to watch the snow, wearing her cotton slippers. Fang Xiaoying's energetic voice traveled out from the phone. Sister Xiao Liu, Wei Shi Buletin Wan's video is really awesomely edited. I promise, even if you're a solo fan, you will not be able to resist how compatible they are. I already sent you the link, watch it when you have time. Liu Jiwei could not help but laugh, you are putting so much effort into Amwaying it, I feel like I would be letting you down if I didn't watch it. Fang Xiaoying chuckled, good things must be shared. Maybe the doors to a new world will open for you and you will start shipping with me. At this moment, Liu Jiwei heard footsteps behind her, then she was pulled into an embrace. Sang Wanxi kissed the shell of her ear silently. She smiled and patted Sang Wanxi's head. I got it, Liu Jiwei said into the phone. I will take a look later. Sang Wanxi lifted the apple in her hand to Liu Jiwei's mouth. Big sister, have a bite of the apple. Liu Jiwei opened her mouth and took a bite. It was fresh and delicious, sweet and crisp. She immediately showed a face of approval. Hearing another voice, Fang Xiaoying immediately got curious. Sister Xiao Liu, is that your Mimi? Sang Wanxi was near enough to hear the question, she immediately smiled and looked to see how Liu Jiwei would answer. Liu Jiwei smiled in embarrassment, not my Mimi. It is my girlfriend. She did not mind letting Fang Xiaoying know about it. She was willing to share something sweet like this with her. Out of all the beautiful things in the world, her girlfriend was one of them. Wow! Fang Xiaoying's voice sounded exaggeratedly happy over the phone. That is awesome, I hope you guys are happy. That is even better, you can watch the video with your girlfriend, maybe you too will fall in love with this CP. Sang Wansi raised an eyebrow. Watch what video which CP then I won't disturb you guys, Fang Xiaoying said happily. Bye bye, chat next time. Bye bye. The call ended. Liu Jiwei opened the link that Fang Xiaoying had sent over and called out to the person behind her, come, girlfriend, let us watch a video together and open the doors to a new world. Sang Wansi, what video? Liu Jiwei, classmate Xiaoying's recommended CP video of Wei Shi Bulletin Wan. She has good taste. Sang Wansi praised again. Liu Jiwei worked to become a top star while happily living with Sang Wansi. At the same time, Lao Wu was not idling away in his control room. His most important task now was still to face off against the invader. The opponent was incredibly crafty and skilled at kidding, they had pretty much figured out the system's methods. Lao Wu had spent a lot of energy fighting off this person. But efforts were bound to be rewarded, he finally found a clue about the other person's identity. It was a clue he was familiar with. The old memories rushed towards him like waves in the ocean. He sat there in a daze, a name coming to his mind. A name that he had thought about day and night, but was not willing to think about right now. Bai Ji. Chapter 99. In the spacious control room, various control systems were lined up along one wall. In front of the glowing screens, a man sat with his head lowered and his eyes closed. Bai Ji. The moon at the tip of his heart, his cinnabar mole. He had imagined countless possible reunion scenarios, but he had never thought of this. Even if they could not be lovers, he wanted to be friends. The only thing he did not want to be was enemies. He was not 100% sure the person was Bai Ji, but his heart was unconsciously leaning towards this answer. Being able to hide in this world for so long and act in the shadows without being caught, it did fit Bai Ji's capabilities. If the other person was not Bai Ji, then he could continue to fight them without any worry. But if it was Bai Ji, his heart was conflicted. He had many things to ask her about, to say to her. Where have you been all these years? How have you been? Do you have someone you like? Did you become stronger, more impressive? Did your dream come true? And why did you come back to attack the system and become my enemy? He took off his spectacles and rubbed his eyebrows in frustration. After a moment, he sighed heavily. He sat upright and gathered his thoughts before he looked at the complex electronics in front of him again. Your job is where you are. Since he was sitting here, then no matter who the other person was, he had to clean up. Even if it really was Bai Ji, he had to work hard to catch her and ask for her reasons. He could only hope it was not her. Lao Wu thought, a little melancholically. Liu Jiwei's birthday was once again spent with Sang Wansi. The two of them wore masks and caps and couple necklaces before heading out to watch a movie secretly. There were a lot of cars on the road, and they were all covered in snow. Under the street lamp, there was a pair of shadows. Liu Jiwei held her girlfriend's hand, half of her face hidden under a scarf as she looked at her girlfriend who looked the same. Cute. Wansi is so cute. Hearing that, Sang Wansi looked at the passers-by before leaning in and lightly saying, Big sister is cute too. Liu Jiwei rubbed her ear, looking shy. Let us take a route where there are fewer people. She was a little embarrassed with so many people around, and she was afraid Sang Wansi would be recognized. Sang Wansi nodded in agreement. Thanks to Liu Shijiao's road blindness, Liu Jiwei had a good sense of direction since young. She had already memorized all the roads around the neighborhood. Soon, she found a less crowded road and brought Sang Wansi in. I have walked this route before, it is not dangerous, do not worry. Even if there is danger, I can protect Jiwei. Sang Wansi calmly said. Liu Jiwei smiled and nodded. Sang Wansi gripped her hand even tighter. The two of them strolled slowly, enjoying the rare comfort. It had snowed just a while ago, and now, footprints were left in the snow with each step. Liu Jiwei held onto Sang Wansi's hand, turning her head back as she walked. Two sets of footprints were clearly imprinted on the snow, close to each other. Suddenly, she thought of the old her. That lonely little transparent person who only had herself. The white light from the street lamp landed on her shoulder as Liu Jiwei reminisced. So it had already been so long. So she had already gotten so much warmth. This was like heaven repaying her. What are you looking at? Hearing the gentle voice of her lover, Liu Jiwei snapped out of her daze and smiled. I was looking at our footprints. It feels like time has passed so quickly, I was alone in the past. You are not anymore. Sang Wansi held both of her hands. Not anymore. Liu Jiwei smiled blissfully. After that short walk down memory lane, the two of them continued walking home hand in hand, swinging their hands like they were children. Wansi, do you have even more work to do this year? You accepted a show. I accepted 2 movies this year. Hearing that, Liu Jiwei turned to look at her. You would not be telling me you're going to enter the production crews back to back with no time to rest in between again, would you? Sang Wansi chuckled, her eyes gentle, as she stayed silent and lifted a hand to caress Liu Jiwei's face. The answer was clear even without saying it. Liu Jiwei's eyebrows furrowed. She wanted to say something, but she did not know what to say. Sang Wansi was working so hard to complete the agreement she had made with her father. No matter what happened, she would do it. Liu Jiwei had no way to stop her. The only person who could stop her was probably Meng Langcheng. And as an outsider, it was hard for her to even meet Meng Langcheng. If she really met him, she definitely would scold this father. If you want to fulfill your wife's dream so much, then you can do it too, why do not you do it? She did not care even if it would offend him and make him think poorly of her. It was most important to let Meng Langcheng stop forcing his daughter. There was only one Sang Wansi in the world, what would happen if she was forced too much? Seeing her frown, Sang Wansi gently smoothed out Liu Jiwei's eyebrows. It is okay, an actress' job is to film. I am just doing my job. Liu Jiwei sighed, it is still that line. You have to rest properly when it's time to rest, got it? Got it. Sang Wansi replied obediently. Liu Jiwei patted her head in satisfaction, then held onto her shoulder and took a look at the cap and scarf. My handiwork is still okay, right? Sang Wansi chuckled, yes, baby's handiwork is the best. Liu Jiwei continued, oh yes, I knitted a cover for your Bluetooth earphones, I will give it to you when you come back. Let us go home, I will show it to you. Sang Wansi nodded, okay. Oh right, it is Xiaoying's birthday soon, I have prepared a small gift for her too, help me see if it's okay. But Jiwei, it is your birthday today, we should celebrate it first. We are celebrating it, as long as you're accompanying me, no matter what we do, I will be happy. Is not the point of a birthday to make the birthday person happy? Hearing that, Sang Wansi smiled lightly. My Jiwei is always right. Her Jiwei was always so easily satisfied and kind. Her Jiwei was really good. Meng Lianyu would occasionally go back to the Meng mansion to stay and fight with Meng Langcheng so he was not so lonely and so stubborn. But Meng Langcheng would always not admit it. Meng Lianyu knew that he cared too much about his reputation. Meng Lianyu had tried to convince him more than once to spare himself and spare his child. But once someone had an obsession, it was hard to let go of it. He was like that. Actually, at this point, even he did not know what to do now. Meng Lianyu did not know what he was thinking either, she just felt that he had a common problem parents had. The inability to lower their head in front of their children. Many parents felt that to their children, they should be the sky and earth, the guiding light in their children's lives. Without them, their children would not be able to live. Apologizing to a child would be humiliating in their eyes. But these days, how could there be unchanging, eternal logic? Children had to listen to parents, but parents should also learn to listen to their children. If they were wrong, then they should apologize to their children. Children were not always necessarily wrong, and parents were not always necessarily right. People were not saints, who could always be correct. Their parents also had these problems from time to time, she suspected this was inherited. Thankfully, she was not going to get married or have children. Today, she passed by Meng Langcheng's study again. The door was not closed tight, with a small gap. From the gap, she could see Meng Langcheng standing in front of the window silently, a tablet on the table. She could not see what the tablet was showing, she could only hear some key terms: Golden Autumn Awards, female lead, Sang Wansi. Meng Lianyu raised an eyebrow and came to a halt, openly listening. After a while, the video changed, as if to the friendship variety show that Sang Wansi had attended. Meng Lianyu listened to the bits and pieces that she could hear. But she could guess which portion it was. It was the conversation Sang Wansi had with Liu Jiwei before playing the piano. She liked playing the piano a lot in the past, now she did not like it that much anymore. Meng Lianyu slowly opened the door. Meng Langcheng was standing by the window, unmoving. There was clearly sound in the house, but there was only silence enveloping him. He clearly missed his daughter. This stubbornness. Usually, Meng Lianyu would push open the door and laugh at him for secretly watching his daughter's variety show, but she didn't want to do it now. The door closed lightly, as if nobody had stopped there. A few days after celebrating her birthday, Liu Jiwei went back to Shengyu and coincidentally bumped into an inspection by Xing Yi Group. This was the first time Xing Yi had come to inspect Shengyu after the acquisition. And the person who came this time wasn't any ordinary employee, it was Meng Langcheng. When Liu Jiwei heard Wen Yao say those 3 words, her entire existence became a shocked expression pack. Chairman Meng is actually personally coming to inspect the company, Wen Yao hinted to her, Sister Jiwei. Chairman Meng would not specially be coming to see you. Does he know about you and Teacher Sang? Liu Jiwei shook her head. She was sure Meng Langcheng did not know about the two of them yet. Maybe Meng Langcheng came this time purely to check on the company. Wen Yao continued talking. But she did not listen to any of it, turning to look behind her with a thoughtful expression. She just did not know if he would be willing to meet her. There were 2 reasons why Meng Langcheng decided to do the inspection himself. Firstly, it was to see how the company was doing and to see if it really could help Xing Yi expand its territory. Secondly, it was because this was the company his daughter chose. The good thing was that Shengyu's development was good, the company had even poached some artistes with potential last year. The artiste with the best potential so far was the friend that his daughter was protecting, Liu Jiwei. Until today, he still recalled how his daughter looked when she asked him for help because of this friend. Thinking about it, he suddenly wanted to meet this Liu Jiwei. At that moment, his secretary walked over and asked in a low voice, "Chairman Meng, there's someone called Liu Jiwei who wants to meet you. Do you want to talk to her?" Meng Langcheng lifted his straight eyebrows as he nodded. "Bring her to the meeting room." Liu Jiwei was wearing a suit today, with her long hair combed into a high ponytail. She looked authoritative and energetic. She tugged on her shirt as she smoothed out the collar and inhaled deeply before following Meng Langcheng's secretary to the meeting room. The secretary knocked on the door. After opening it, Liu Jiwei followed the secretary in. Looking up, a handsome man entered her eyes. This was the first time Liu Jiwei was seeing Meng Langcheng in the flesh. Although he was middle-aged, he was still very handsome with an elegant bearing. His hair was dense and he was still in good shape. He completely would not lose to a younger man. Liu Jiwei could not help but exclaim in her heart, "This whole family is the pride of the Lux Group." The secretary left the room. There were only the two of them left in the big, airy meeting room. The two people closest to Sangwon Si Meng Langcheng didn't speak, looking at Liu Jiwei with appraising eyes. Sangwon Si was close to this friend. This friend would cook and make dumplings for Sangwon Si, letting her eat proper meals. And this friend played the violin terribly. Liu Jiwei had to admit, sitting in the same room as an industry giant like Meng Langcheng was unnerving. Even if they did not speak, people could feel a sort of pressure. But she had no choice. For Sangwon Si, she had to meet Meng Langcheng. Regardless of whether Meng Langcheng would listen to what she had to say, she had to say it. Trying and failing was better than not trying at all. "Hello, Chairman Meng, I am Liu Jiwei." She gathered her courage to introduce herself first, formulating her response to what Meng Langcheng would say next. The busy Chairman Meng should probably say he did not know her, then she could say she was this company's artiste and Sangwon Si's friend. That is what she would say. But Meng Langcheng said, "I know of you. Liu Jiwei. Meng Langcheng, you are Sheng Yu's artiste, and my daughter's friend." Liu Jiwei. WTF, how does he know my lines? Please turn off the surveillance in my brain immediately. Please sit, Miss Liu. Oh, yes. Please sit, Chairman Meng. Liu Jiwei sat down in the chair beside her. Meng Langcheng naturally sat in the chair closest to him. There was a vast expanse between the two. As Liu Jiwei sat, she said in her heart, "He does not seem that fierce." She thought Meng Langcheng would make her stand until he was done talking. After sitting down, Meng Langcheng calmly said, "Miss Liu, I am very grateful that you can let my Wan Si eat her meals properly and on time." Liu Jiwei waved her hands quickly, not anticipating this. "Chairman Meng is too polite, it is what I should do." She was a little surprised. Meng Langcheng did not seem like a person who did not care for his daughter. Why was it that he became so stubborn when he was in front of her? Ah, forget it, as long as he has his daughter in his heart, then it was easier to speak. Meng Langcheng said, "As thanks, I will get the company to arrange for good resources for you." Liu Jiwei was shocked by this sudden benevolence. She blinked and immediately said, "Compared to this, I would wish for Chairman Meng to promise me one thing instead, is that okay?" Meng Langcheng's face didn't change. "You can let me hear it." Liu Jiwei held her hands together nervously, encouraging herself as she thought of Sangwon Si. 2 seconds later, she looked at Meng Langcheng with a determined gaze. Chairman Meng, I would like to ask you to cancel the agreement with Wan Si. Meng Langcheng's calm facade finally showed a hint of shock. He did not expect Liu Jiwei to know about it. But thinking about it, it was not odd either. Since Sang Wan Si would be willing to return home to ask her father for help because of her, then the two of them would definitely have a very good relationship. Liu Jiwei watched as Meng Langcheng changed his position, crossing his leg and interlocking his fingers. He didn't have a hint of anger on his face, but his voice had become colder. Miss Liu, this is a family matter. Chairman Meng, I know this is your family's matter, Liu Jiwei said. But as Wan Si's friend and as an actress, I cannot just not do anything when she is agreeing to such unfair terms. Not do anything. Meng Langcheng's lips rose in a slight smile, but his voice was still icy. Is that so? Then what are you going to do? Liu Jiwei could not speak, nervously swallowing. Meng Langcheng was too scary. It was as if she dared to continue speaking, he would make her regret being born on this earth. Honestly, anybody would want to retreat at this moment. But she could not. Once she thought of Sang Wan Si having to force herself to become better, forcing herself to work so hard, she immediately hardened her heart. No, you cannot retreat, Liu Jiwei. No matter who retreats, you cannot. Like this, Liu Jiwei slowly raised her head, sitting here and asking you to cancel the agreement. Chairman Meng, I believe you have your daughter in your heart, and you have a heart that hopes your child will become better and better. Or else, you will not thank me just because I cooked a few meals for her. So I hope that you can listen to Wan Si's requests, listen to Wan Si's choices, ask her what she really wants and stop imposing your own ideas on her. She is your daughter, not your accessory. Meng Langcheng's face was sullen. Liu Jiwei, I hope you haven't forgotten that Sheng Yu is now Xing Yi's. Calling someone by their full name was certainly suitable to use as a threat in every situation. But even so, Liu Jiwei did not falter, her gaze burning. It is fine even if you call my full name, or if you scold me, or even if you stop me from working. Compared to making Wan Si suffer, all these do not matter, I have to say it all today. After saying that, it was like she had suddenly tapped into an ocean of courage, no longer afraid of Meng Langcheng's cold expression. She would say it, no matter what. Even if he did not listen, she would say it. Chairman Meng, your career achievements are incredible, all your strategies are unmatched and nobody is your opponent, but that doesn't mean you're definitely able to be a good father. You love Madame Meng and you want to fulfill her musical dreams, so you forced this dream onto Wan Si. Based on what could it be that in your heart, your daughter's and your wife's dream holds different levels of importance. Wan Si's dream is not worth talking about, but Madame Meng's dream is incomparably noble. Slap! Meng Langcheng slapped the table and stood up. He had never thought that, and he would not allow others to slander him. Liu Jiwei stood up agitatedly as well. Wan Si is your daughter, she is the flesh on the back of your hand and a living, breathing person. You cannot put someone else's dream on your child just like that. Do you know that because of you, she used to be in agony, and she used to feel inferior because her parents were so excellent? Hearing this, Meng Langcheng's expression faltered as doubt flashed in his eyes. How could that be? His daughter was the most excellent person in the world, how could she feel inferior? After calming herself down slightly, Liu Jiwei continued, Chairman Meng, in Wan Si's heart, you and Madame Meng are the most excellent people in the world. She feels that you two could do anything. And because you kept forcing her to become a pianist, always saying that she didn't do enough, so she started doubting herself. Even when filming, she was forcing herself to try to get better as quickly as possible at the expense of her own health just so she could get your approval. Is not that your fault? The more she spoke, the more agitated Liu Jiwei got, the fire rising again. Why did parents have to force their children like this? If not, they would just ignore their children. What exactly did they take their children for? Getting more and more angry, she ended up not caring about anything else as she shouted, "Meng Langcheng, if you are so capable, why do not you go be an internationally renowned pianist yourself? What is the point of forcing your daughter?" You. Meng Langcheng was speechless with anger. The two of them had been so angered by the other that their faces were red. But Liu Jiwei did not forget her ending. She bowed deeply to Meng Langcheng. "You already know my request clearly, I have also said everything I wanted to say. Please consider it, Chairman Meng, I will take my leave." She turned and left quickly. Meng Langcheng's secretary watched as she pushed open the door angrily and walked away. He looked at her back. Should I remind her that she's walking with an opposite to normal swing? Forget it, Chairman Meng is more important. You're walking with the same arm and leg. Lao Wu reminded her bluntly. It was only then that Liu Jiwei quickly changed it and ducked into the empty stairwell, squatting down and putting her hand over her frantic heart. Thinking of how Meng Langcheng was, she was still frightened. Too scary. I am really done for this time. Lao Wu could not help but laugh. You were scolding him so fiercely just now, I thought you weren't scared. Liu Jiwei's face was pained. I was scared to death. If this was in ancient times, it would be a death sentence for me and my clan. Lao Wu said, then you're viewing Sangwan C's dad as a tyrant ruler. Hearing that, Liu Jiwei's face calmed down as she sat on the stairs. Actually, maybe. She could feel Meng Langcheng's love for Sangwan C as her father. But she was an outsider and did not understand Meng Langcheng. She did not know if this love was deeper or if his stubbornness to fulfill his wife's dream was deeper. Humans are such complex creatures, you can never understand them. Lao Wu agreed with that, sighing, you are right. Clearly, there was a story. Liu Jiwei asked, what is it? Lao Wu said, I will tell you something, do not get scared. Liu Jiwei. I have prepared myself, say it. Lao Wu, do you remember Bai Ji? Liu Jiwei, I remember, your crush, a very formidable person. Lao Wu sucked in a few deep breaths and laughed bitterly, I'm suspecting the invader is her. Liu Jiwei. I did not dare to believe it either, but too many traces are too similar to her old methods. Bai Ji was his best friend inside the system. He liked her, admired her and understood her, naturally understanding the way she worked as well. If it was someone else, they probably would not have guessed it was her even if they had spent a few hundred years. Liu Jiwei. Me killing me was bad enough, why was it now someone he liked looks like her male mommy was just as tragic as she was? It is okay, Liu Jiwei consoled him, look on the bright side, maybe it is not maybe someone else copying her methods, and trying to confuse you right anyway, before you meet her, do not jump to conclusions. Hearing that, Lao Wu pulled himself together, you're right. Seeing that she had comforted him, Liu Jiwei patted her clothes as she stood up, all right, I should go back and get my things too. Lao Wu, what are you getting your things for? Liu Jiwei smiled slightly, as if she was going to her death. To wait for His Majesty to send me home to be a farmer. Chapter 100. After gathering all her energy to finish shooting for the magazine, Liu Jiwei solemnly bid farewell to Wen Yao and Wen Wen. Although Meng Langcheng had not looked for her yet, maybe he was in the midst of figuring out his big move and seeing where would be worse to send her to. She sighed. Remonstrating was not something ordinary people could do. But she didn't regret it. As long as Meng Langcheng didn't let go of his obsession, even if Liu Jiwei did not say all these today, she would say it another time. As long as it was for Sang Wansi, it was worth it. Wen Yao and Wen Wen followed her down the car and watched as she entered the elevator. Somehow, they felt like there was an odd sense of death. Wen Yao, Wen Wen, did something happen? Liu Jiwei lay on the sofa at home. The full-length windows were showing the snow falling down. The sky was slightly dark, just like her mood. Sigh. She sighed heavily again. She probably really was done for this time. She looked at the snow woodenly for a while, then picked up her phone and opened WeChat, going to Sang Wansi's conversation. Sang Wansi had a lot of work today too, so she could only return home at night. She put down her phone, then picked it up again, then put it down again. There was a ball of indecisiveness in this situation. That was Meng Langcheng. No matter what, he was Sang Wansi's father. She scolded her girlfriend's father. This action seemed a bit overboard. It would be best if she was the one to tell her girlfriend the truth. If she waited till Meng Langcheng told Sang Wansi, then that would be a horror story. So she gripped her phone and typed in defeat. Liu Jiwei, baby, I met your dad at Shengyu today. Liu Jiwei, he met with me. Liu Jiwei, then I scolded him. Cracked smile 1. After 10 minutes. Baby Sang, Sang Wansi called her. Liu Jiwei pitifully picked up. Liu Jiwei buried her face in the sofa. Hello. Sang Wansi's voice was calm. What did you scold him? Liu Jiwei thought about the harshest line she said. I scolded him. Meng Langcheng. That was the harshest line I said, is not using a person's full name harsh. She had never really scolded anybody before, and she wouldn't be rude to her elders. Especially to her girlfriend's father. If she really was rude to her girlfriend's father, it wouldn't even be enough for this emperor to execute her entire family in her next life. After that, she heard a chuckle from the other side. Sang Wansi asked, you just called his name? Liu Jiwei drew circles on the sofa as she said weakly, no, I said other stuff too. I said he was forcing you, and forcing your mother's dream on you was not right. I even said if he could do it then he should do it. Why was he forcing his daughter? Liu Jiwei leaned back, resting against the backrest as she looked at the ceiling. Your father was so angry then. Sigh, I was not being rational, I feel like I am dead. But she did not expect that Sang Wansi's amusement was even more obvious after she finished talking. Liu Jiwei. I am so pitiful, your dad's so angry, but you're laughing isn't there's something wrong here. Hearing Liu Jiwei's description and thinking of how Liu Jiwei normally was, Sang Wansi felt it was a little funny. The harshest thing she said when she was scolding was calling his full name. There was not anything wrong with what she said either. But she was actually very happy that Liu Jiwei dared to speak to her father like that for her. Her whole heart felt like the sun had shone on it, gentle and warm. Liu Jiwei always said she was her light, but wasn't she the same courageously loving her light? Jiwei, Sang Wansi chuckled, if I gave you another chance, would you still say those words to him? There was silence from the other side. After a while, the answer came out. I will. As long as he still treats you like that, Liu Jiwei answered, I will still say it. Just like what she said to Meng Langcheng, nothing was worth Sang Wansi's pain. She couldn't watch as the person she loved sank into a painful abyss. People only lived once, no matter what, they should work hard to live happily. With that, everything was worth it. Sang Wansi smiled and said gently, "Do not worry, I am here. You protected me, I will protect you too." Liu Jiwei liked hearing this the most. It was as if as long as Sang Wansi promised it, nothing would become a problem. It was like a heart-calming pill. But because of the agreement from before, Liu Jiwei still had to say, "But you cannot have another agreement like before just to solve this, got it?" Got it." After the call ended, Sang Wansi made a call to Meng Lianyu. "Auntie, there is something I want to tell you." Meng Lianyu returned back to the Meng mansion noticeably more frequently in recent days. It was primarily to keep an eye on Meng Langcheng and see if he was angry or not. In the end, Meng Langcheng was still the same every day. Reading his books, looking at the newspapers, handling his work. Sometimes, he would also ask his secretary about the other companies in the group. But he did not ask about Sheng Yu. More accurately, he never mentioned Liu Jiwei again. He was so calm it was as if he had forgotten this person existed. Or maybe he had already planned out how to deal with her. So one day, Meng Lianyu directly stopped Meng Langcheng's secretary, Wu Feng, at the door. Wu Feng respectfully called out, "Director Meng." Meng Lianyu waved her hand to tell him not to be so polite, then asked, "Xiao Feng, I wanted to ask you, has Chairman Meng spoken about how he wants to handle Sheng Yu's Liu Jiwei mm?" Wu Feng thought about it, then replied, "No." "Meng Lianyu, weren't you around when Liu Jiwei argued with my brother?" "I was." "Then how could you not know?" "Director Meng, it is not that I don't know, it's that he did not speak about it." Meng Lianyu was curious, was not my brother very angry that day? Wu Feng nodded, yes, Chairman Meng was very angry. Meng Lianyu, since he was so angry, how could there not be a mention of punishment? Wu Feng nodded, yes, Chairman Meng was very angry that day, but he was also very downcast. After that, he has never mentioned Miss Liu again. Meng Lianyu raised an eyebrow, "Ah. Is that so?" She smiled and patted Wu Feng's shoulder, "I understand, thank you, go do what needs to be done." Wu Feng bowed to her slightly then left. Meng Lianyu looked at the spacious house. The winter wind brushed past her ear, lifting up her long hair. She was so lost in thought she didn't feel the chill at all, as if trapped in her own world. Meng Langcheng saw his sister standing at the door in the cold wind as he was coming down from the second floor. He told the housekeeper, "Sister Ming, brew a cup of hot tea for her and bring her a jacket in case she freezes to death." Hearing that, Meng Lianyu came back to her senses and watched as Meng Langcheng turned on the television to watch the news. Honestly, her brother did care a lot for the health of the family. He had one downside, being incredibly stubborn when he set his mind on something. She definitely had to think of a good solution to solve the conflict between the father and daughter this time, so as to comfort her sister-in-law in heaven. In the blink of an eye, it was the second half of January. Liu Jiwei gradually got accustomed to the feeling of waiting to be exiled every day. She did not know if Meng Langcheng intended to punish her or not, and she did not care anymore. Just notify her when she was being sent to the frontier. This year, both Liu Jiwei and Sang Wansi's careers were on the rise, with many collaborations looking for them. Sang Wansi was now a widely known actress, and she naturally got a lot of offers. These few days, she had been flying around for work with Zhang Xianrui and would only be back in An City in a couple of days. And the day before she would land in An City was coincidentally Fang Xiaoying's birthday. This year, Fang Xiaoying's birthday was different from before. This time, there were presents and wishes and someone who remembered her. The moment she received her present, tears started filling her eyes. There was a very pretty mug inside with a cute, knitted kitten head. And a letter. There were many encouraging words written in the letter, mostly hoping she could live happily. There are many wonderful things in life, companionship is one and forming a universe by yourself is another. These were the words that Sister Xiao Lu had given her. Looking at the letter, Fang Xiaoying's tears trickled down her face and dripped onto the paper. She hurriedly wiped away the tear, afraid it would smudge the gentle kindness. She looked at the letter and the presents again and again, this time crying tears of long-awaited happiness. Even if only one person could remember her, it was enough. She wiped away her tears and opened WeChat. Fang Xiaoying, Sister Xiao Lu, I got the present, I really like it. It was slightly after 4 p.m. Lu Jiwei had just got home from work and was currently changing her shoes at the door when she saw the message. Seeing her say that she liked it, Lu Jiwei relaxed. Lu Jiwei, as long as you like it. Xiaoying, that, sister, are you free now? Is it okay if we call Lu Jiwei? Put her bag aside. Lu Jiwei, I am free, what is it? Xiaoying, I wanted to call you and personally say thank you. Lu Jiwei smiled and dialed her number. Xiaoying. Hearing the voice, Fang Xiaoying's calmed emotions suddenly surged again. She remembered her all along. Lu Jiwei heard her crying on the phone, but did not ask what she was crying about. She only gently comforted Fang Xiaoying. At this moment, they seemed like close sisters. The Mimi could express all her emotions and did not need to worry about not having anybody to vent to, because the big sister was always by her side, shining on her like a warm sun. Fang Xiaoying's tears flowed even more. Lu Jiwei accompanied her for as long as she cried. When she had gotten tired, Lu Jiwei cheekily said, "See, your voice is all hoarse from crying. Just nice, you can use the cup I sent you to get some water and moisten your throat. Drink more water, it is good for you." Fang Xiaoying smiled through her tears. "I will definitely drink more water with the cup Sister Xiao Lu gave me." "You have to drink more water even without the cup I gave you," Lu Jiwei said, "health is most important." Fang Xiaoying nodded as she wiped her tears, saying yes. As if aside from that word, she could not say anything else. Lu Jiwei's expression became gentle as she lightly sighed, "Silly child." She knew how painful and difficult it had been for Fang Xiaoying. As someone who had endured the same pain, she could empathize. She felt like these role markers could have appeared after the incident. So she wanted to work hard and hope that these grey halos would disappear after the world line had been fixed and everybody could lead a normal life. Then, she suddenly heard Fang Xiaoying sob, "From when I was young till now, nobody has treated me this well." Lu Jiwei startled, "What did you just say?" From young, so it meant Fang Xiaoying was the same as her. She had always been transparent, even before the incident. She thought that she was the only one who was an original accident in the world, and all the rest of the transparent people and her protagonist Halo were because of the accident. But now someone else was telling her, "I am the same as you." This made her shocked, unable to speak. She held her phone, looking at the space in front of her blankly. At this moment, everything in front of her suddenly became incredibly foreign. Fang Xiaoying was still talking to her over the phone. "Sister Xiao Lu, you did not hear wrong, I have been transparent my whole life. Really, I do not even know how I lived until today. If I did not meet you that time, I probably would not have been able to endure any longer. Thank you, really thank you for remembering me. The smile on Liu Jiwei's face slowly disappeared. Her brain was blank. Her chest felt like it was congested, as if someone had hit it with a hammer and it hurt too much to breathe. She suddenly had a feeling. Xiao Ying, she said. I suddenly have something urgent to do, I will talk to you next time, okay? Fang Xiaoying thought it was about work and did not dare to disturb her, wiping her tears immediately. Okay, go ahead Sister Xiao Lu. Liu Jiwei was about to hang up when she remembered it was Fang Xiaoying's birthday, so she added, and, happy birthday, be happy today. Fang Xiaoying laughed, I will be happy. The call ended. Liu Jiwei stood in the middle of the living room with her phone. The stillness was like the waves in the sea had stopped crashing, and the world fell into silence. Lao Wu had heard her conversation with Fang Xiaoying. Realizing it, he stopped what he was doing and wiped his glasses, waiting for Liu Jiwei to question him. Liu Jiwei suddenly felt like she was dumb. When she saw the grey halo, she should have known it had something to do with the system. But she did not ask. She did not even guess it was malicious. Because of Lao Wu, she had always been willing to trust the system. But in this instant, her trust had wavered, it might even collapse. This depended on Lao Wu no, it depended on the answer the system would give her. I want to use the right to know. She had no expression on her face. She did not know what sort of expression to make either. All right, Lao Wu replied. Please ask the question, host. It was that polite, customer service tone again. But Liu Jiwei did not care now, this wasn't something she should care about at this time. She opened her mouth but nothing came out. What should she ask just about the grey halo? No, it was not enough. She wanted to know more, about the whole world. Tell me, she decided, her gaze burning, about this world's system. You are not allowed to hide anything from me. Lao Wu confirmed with her twice. The host is sure this is the question. Liu Jiwei nodded hard, her gaze determined, as if nobody could change her decision. Seeing her insistence, Lao Wu could only give up everything. At this point, there was nothing left to hide. Liu Jiwei indeed should know about these things. Besides, she used the right to know, it was not against the rules. Liu Jiwei sat on the chair, listening carefully to Lao Wu. This world's system is different from the other worlds because it is our main computer's prototype. Hearing prototype made Liu Jiwei furrow her brows uncomfortably. The main computer sounded like the highest authority in the system. Administrators like Lao Wu still worked for the main computer. This world was being used to experiment with double-layer structures. The first layer is the base where the normal world is, with all beings being equal. The second layer is built on top of the first layer. You can understand this as the novel world. In this layer, the characters are divided into primary and secondary. No matter what the status of the selected people is on the second layer, they must follow the plot and be what the plot wants them to be. Liu Jiwei kind of understood. At the start, you said that if an evil supporting character could be saved if they were not bad by nature, and that if they were like that by nature, they could not be saved. So you meant that someone like Xiao Ying was actually good in the first layer, but only because he was selected in the second layer, so he was forced to become an evil supporting character by the script. That is why he could be saved. Correct, Lao Wu said. This world is just a prototype. There are many areas that are not mature yet. With the accident, changing the fate of a supporting character is much easier. Liu Jiwei, this is forcing good people to go against their conscience. What did Ying Xize do wrong? What did others do wrong? They became evil just like that. Many evil roles had bad endings. If they were good people to start with and then forced to play a role like a puppet and ended up with a bad ending, this was too much. Lao Wu did not stop her from scolding. This was the decision of the main computer. What right did they have to change it? At most, they could only sit there and take the scolding for the main computer. I'm not done yet. Liu Jiwei kept her anger temporarily, then you can continue. Aside from the main protagonists, supporting characters, and transparent people who are placed in the second layer, all the other people are passers-by. Passers-by are actually just people who are living normal lives on the first layer. Liu Jiwei did not expect that transparent people were on the second layer too. Why are we also on the second layer? Because. Here, Lao Wu paused. He seemed to feel it was not very appropriate, so he did not know how to speak. Liu Jiwei suddenly had a bad feeling. Because, Lao Wu gathered his voice and said, because you are the people who are giving the main protagonists and supporting characters their luck. Liu Jiwei was stunned. Lao Wu said, luck, you can understand it as this world's attention. The more transparent you all are, the brighter the protagonist shines. The supporting roles can also receive a bit more attention than the passers-by. That's how the luck equalizes in the second layer. To put it simply, the protagonists' halos were built by stepping on each and every transparent person. This was the glory that came from the suffering and tears of the transparent people. Liu Jiwei stared into space, then lowered her head and held it. How could this be? Why did this happen? He was telling her that her past was because she was being stepped on and trampled by her current lover and friends, but Sang Wanxi and Ying Xize did not know anything. And she was now the new protagonist. She had climbed from the bottom to the top and ended up helping the evildoers while knowing nothing. Just now, a girl who had been transparent like her had been complaining to her and suffering. But she was the one who had stolen her light. Liu Jiwei closed her eyes tightly, pain on her face. Her heart felt like it had fallen into an ice cave, cold to the point that she couldn't breathe. It felt as if there was someone scolding her in her ear, disturbing her conscience and causing her pain. She asked with red eyes, so after fixing the world line, this double-layer structure will still be present, and there will still be innocent people becoming transparent. Right. Lao Wu did not admit it, but he also did not deny it. Liu Jiwei got an answer from his silence. The world started to blur. A tear fell silently. The winter wind was blowing outside the house, but it could not be any colder than the words Lao Wu had said. No wonder Bai Ji wanted to leave. No wonder someone wanted to attack this world. This is an unreasonable, illogical world. Jiwei, Lao Wu lowered his eyes, guilty, I'm sorry. The house fell silent. After a long time, Lao Wu heard Liu Jiwei say, I do not accept it. She held her arms tightly, her voice trembling, I do not accept it. She could have lived as a normal person. She could have lived a little easier, a little happier. What right did they have to curtail her right to live? Why could others live the way they wanted, but the transparent people had to live so hard? The tears slowly soaked the pillow. With anger, with discontent, with pain. She was feeling upset and angry for everybody who had been struggling in this world. What a joke, that she wanted to do the missions well and prevent more people from becoming transparent. She did not want to hurt anyone. Liu Jiwei slowly stopped suppressing her sobs, bursting into tears. She cried sadly as if her heart had been torn apart. Lao Wu could not bear to watch any longer, looking away. He closed his eyes forcefully, as if he could avoid reality for a while by doing that. Sorry. Sorry. He actually did not know why the main computer would do that. He had never thought that people were living so painfully. He thought, maybe that accident was God's arrangement. It wanted him to come face to face with the system's cruelty, and Liu Wei's pain and struggle. It wanted to tear off their mask and let him ask himself, is this right or wrong? Liu Wei finally stopped after crying for a long time. She leaned against the sofa, looking in front with red eyes and a dejected look. She did not hate anybody in this world. She only hated the system, hated the main computer who played with them like they were toys. But this could not work. Instead of sitting around and waiting for the ending, she might as well attack first. Since Lao Wu said this world had many areas that were still not mature, maybe there was a chance the second layer wasn't mature. Maybe there was a way to let them return to the normal first layer. Lao Wu, she asked in a flat voice. Tell me, is there a way to return to the first layer? Lao Wu paused. You cannot do that. Liu Wei suddenly got angry again. Until this point, he was still standing on the main computer's side. Could not he differentiate right from wrong? You are actually still helping the main computer, you guys are indeed in cahoots. You are wrong, I am not saying it because of the main computer. Lao Wu took off his spectacles. But for you.